Today we are going to talk about your roles and responsibilities as an LEA representative. The first thing we need to understand is what is an LEA. An LEA is a local education agency representative. An LEA is a required role at every special education meeting, and this member may only be excused if prior written agreement is made between parent and LEA before the meeting. IDEA was reauthorized to resolve the inequalities that existed in special education nationwide. The driving force behind IDEA is FAPE. FAPE is a free, appropriate public education that is provided to all students with no cost to them. It is important for both educators and parents to realize that IDEA does not require a school to maximize the potential of each child with disabilities. Rather, the Act seeks to identify and evaluate children with suspected disabilities and provide them with access to FAPE. A school has met this requirement when they provide specialized instruction with necessary support services which allow the student to access the general education curriculum. A big question the team needs to answer is what I am doing reasonably planned to allow the student to make educational progress? The LEA is responsible for complying with IDEA on a local level. Our charter schools serve as the LEA, meaning they're responsible for locating, evaluating, and identifying all children with disabilities in their school. If a child is found eligible for services, the school is responsible for ensuring the child receives FAPE. This is done by ensuring that the IEP team complies with the procedural components of IDEA, as well as ensuring that the student receives a free, appropriate public education. The LEA representative is an integral part of the IEP team. It is their duty to make sure the school is complying with IDEA, as well as ensuring that students are receiving FAPE. There are three key responsibilities of an LEA. The first is the person serving as LEA is qualified to supervise or provide the provision of specially designed instruction to meet the unique needs of children with disabilities. The second is the person serving as LEA knows the general education curriculum. And the third, the person serving as LEA knows about the availability of resources at the school and has the authority to commit those resources. Let's talk about those three key responsibilities. Your assigned policies and procedures also say the representative of the LEA who is qualified to provide or supervise the provision of specially designed instruction and an individual who can interpret the instructional implications of the evaluation results. This means that the LEA is someone who understands both special education and general education and can clearly analyze the benefit or detriment of a plan to the child's access to the general education curriculum. Let's define qualified. In most districts, the LEA is the principal or assistant principal, both of whom have state certification in school administration. In charter schools, this person may also play a variety of other roles, but is usually a school leader and needs to be able to provide special education or supervise the provision of special education. The second qualification, the person is knowledgeable about the general education curriculum. Working in a charter school, chances are you're working with a unique curriculum. As the LEA, your job is to understand this curriculum and be able to answer questions the team may have regarding the curriculum and implications a plan may have on the student's progress in the curriculum. The third qualification, the person is knowledgeable about the availability of resources of the public agency and has the authority to commit those resources. It is essential that the LEA has knowledge of the availability of resources as well as the authority to commit those resources because oftentimes teams are making decisions that require financial commitment. The LEA should be able to make the call to commit those resources without running it up a chain of command and delaying a decision. A working knowledge of the school's budget is crucial. Your school will name this person or persons in their statement in the policies and procedures. In this statement says, in addition to the district superintendent or his designee and the school principal, the following school staff are authorized to serve as LEA at the school. The people that are listed in this section of your policies and procedures are the people that must act and sign as LEA during all meetings. If a person is not listed in your policies and procedures, they may not act or sign as an LEA at a special education meeting. It is their job to ensure that what is written in the IEP will be provided by the school. Let's break down those LEA representative duties. You are expected to actively participate in meetings, which means staying for the entire meeting, asking questions, and helping explain the plan, ensuring that what the team is planning is meaningful and complies with IDEA, and ensuring that there's never a time that a unilateral decision is made. It's really important to ask during meetings, what will that look like? Johnny's supposed to get 6 hours of daily of special education along with lunch, recess specials, and special engineering elective he wants to take. How is that going to look? Where will his core subject instruction take place? Does the IEP clearly say that he won't be getting core instruction from the regular education teacher? You will also need to have knowledge of discipline procedures. It's so important to understand key discipline factors like the 10-day rule and the special 45-day rule. This means that the 10-day rule does not mean that students with disabilities cannot be removed for more than 10 days. It means that once a pattern of removal changes or a student has reached 10 days of disciplinary removal, the team needs to convene and hold a manifestation determination. 10 days or less without services does not constitute a change of placement, rather a short-term removal, but more than 10 days does, which requires a meeting to determine if the behavior is a manifestation of the student's behavior or a direct result of the school's failure to implement the IEP. This meeting must happen within 10 days of the decision for removal, and a parent must receive procedural safeguards and notification of the removal no later than the day of the decision for removal. There's also a special 45-day interim alternative placement setting. This can be used when one of 3 violations or one or more of 3 violations happens: weapons, drugs, or serious bodily injury. It's really important to define serious bodily injury. Serious bodily injury means bodily injury which involves a substantial risk of death, extreme physical pain, protracted and obvious disfigurement, or protracted loss of impairment of the function of a bodily member, organ, or mental faculty. Even in this case, the student must still receive a FAPE. These same protections under IDEA also apply to students who are not yet eligible for services if the LEA had a reason to suspect the child had a disability before the behavior and disciplinary action took place. In this situation, a child is not protected if the parent has refused consent for evaluation for services. Another responsibility of an LEA is to ensure that students are receiving FAPE, ensure that plans are implemented with integrity, ensure that all students with suspected disabilities are identified and the evaluation process begins. There are a lot of roles and responsibilities of an LEA, and it's important that if you have any questions about your role or responsibility as an LEA, that you contact your special education coordinator at your school, as well as the special education team at the South Carolina Public Charter School District. We are happy to help answer any questions you may have. The code word for this slideshow is unicorn. Please fill out the form that was given in the link you got on the bookshelf. Thank you.